Behind the veils, intoxicated with love, I too dance the rhythm of this moving world. I have lost my senses in my world of lovers.
A lover asked his beloved, "Do you love yourself more than you love me?" The beloved replied, "I have died to myself and I live for you. I've disappeared from myself and my attributes. I am present only for you. I have forgotten all my learning, but from knowing you, I have become a scholar. I have lost all my strength, but from your power, I am able. If I love myself, I love you. If I love you, I love myself."
Okay, that was A Gift of Love, an album music inspired by the love poems of Rumi. And the song was Do You Love Me? Desire, Daisy Moore. Okay, this was a little introduction to the full moon's chart reading today, September 9th, or it's 8th still. But this night at 1:38 a.m. at Greenwich Meridian time, there will be a full moon. Full moon will be in Pisces, a sign of sensitivity, feeling, high sensitivity. Pisces is the most beautiful sign to dream away and to connect all that is and to really be like here I am feeling at home, you know, with the candle lights and a little painting, beautiful painting here. And the white rose, a friend of mine, is starting or has the Rose of Peace. It's a website where you can go and order her white rose. White rose is also the symbol for unconditional love. Sonia Bos, a Dutch mystic, has used it, has taught us how to use this symbol, one of the 33 symbols which we can use to transform and transmute and create our new earth from unconditional love and unity. Okay, so that's a beautiful sign to be in for the full moon. And when we look at the chart, it's also connecting with Chiron. It's very close, at 15 and 16 degrees in Pisces. Chiron is the wounded healer. So in the first instance, the wounded healer is, the part in us that can be traumatized by past experiences. So the challenge is to be in the here and now and look at life as it is, how it presents itself to you. Get in touch with your feeling. Create a good feeling, because it's all up to us. You know, it's it's easy to do, really, to when you know how to look after yourself, you can let go of all the negativity, you know, turn off the computer, turn off the TV, do what you like to do, have a good meal, and have a lot of healthy drink, and take walks in nature. You know, this all helps to align with the positive and feel good about yourself, you know. There's nothing wrong with you. We're all perfect as we are. And even if in the eyes of others we can make mistakes, or, you know, we don't do it exactly as they expect from us, you know, we do what we can. We do our best, and we try to be loving towards others and also towards ourselves. So that means take time for yourself and really find that peace from within, you know. So turn on good music, or be in silence, meditate. It's all very easy if you have chosen to be at peace. You know, you don't have to look for conflicts. You know, if we accept ourselves, we can also accept others as we are. I say this because the sun in this chart is in Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. Earth means, you know, we're looking for some security, and in Virgo it's a flexible sign, so we look for security through really trying to analyze things as they are, as they present themselves to us, you know. It can really be a good feeling or a good experience to get the you know, to see the order in things, not get lost in chaos and traumas, or in things that distract us, but by focusing on what's really important to us. And the sun is in the third house. When we look at it from the Greenwich point, you know, the zero meridian in England. And in the third house means that we are in the field of the daily communication, you know. So it's good to be aware that we can communicate from this principle of purity, because Virgo is also the sign of purity. It's the need in us to get things in order, you know, to clean up, to really align with the, well, the practicality also of life, you know. Get things in order, it means that you can clear your mind and clear your uh, the things that you have not done yet and you think you should have done, you know. So for me, I started this morning with getting order into my administration. You know, it's good feeling, and also to be able to have your house in good order. So that sets the basis for a good feeling. You know, if we can really take time for all this just needs to be done. We can also relax and do what we feel like doing, like I'm doing now. I love to read the horoscope, the chart, you know. Been an astrologer for 25 years now, and I still love it. You know, it's just so beautiful what shows itself in the charts in every moment. And what's most significant to me in this chart, this full moon's chart, is that there is a yacht, which is a fingerprint of God. And it's pointing towards Uranus, in the sign of Aries. Uranus is already for a long time in Aries. It goes very slow. Uranus goes in 84 years around the zodiac. So every sign it's at least 5-6 years. So it's already it's right in the middle. It's at 15 degrees in Aries, and it's right on the mid heaven, MC, medium cooley in Latin, and the mid-heaven or the mid-heaven is also the point straight ahead of us, above us, and that means that it's very important to the collective as a whole, you know, the community, the world's community. We're all under that same sign, you know, we're one collective field of energy. So if the Uranus at this night at 1:38 Greenwich time, it's exactly on this midpoint. That means that we have to do something about this Uranus. And Uranus is the planet that belongs to the sign of Aquarius, the 11th sign of the zodiac. And that's the water bearer. And Uranus is the need in us to change things, to really change things for the better. You know, Saturn is the planet that makes us hold on to the old, the traditional ways, you know, the ways that give us security and that has always been giving us structure because of the rules and the laws that are associated with it. But Uranus is trying to push us a little farther, you know, a little more in towards change. You know, you could call it revolution, but that's a bit, you know, well, it makes people maybe fearful because you know, revolution, that sounds so fanatic. But revolution is really a good thing. I mean, if we revolutionize our life, we can really look at our life every day in a different way. You know, that way we can disattach, get less attached to the way things ought to be or have always been. I like Uranus, I like Aquarius. My ascendant is in Aquarius, and I'm a water bearer in that way. My mission is to bring this kind of change, you know. I think we've been way too long already hanging on to the old traditional ways. We have to change things to get more equality, you know. It's important to for women and men to be treated equal, and for poor and rich to reach more equality, because, well, there's just not enough of even sharing in this world. You know, there's still too many people suffering poverty and hunger and illnesses, and, you know, not even having a good place to sleep or food to eat. So, or healthcare or education. So this is one of the main problems in our society at the moment that brings about revolution. You know, it's normal when people don't get what they need, they they rebel. You know, it's necessary, because nobody's gonna listen to you if you hide from the public face. You know. So many more peoples than before are going to the street. You can see it in Yemen and in all kinds of Arab countries, but also in Africa and in Asia, in Thailand, and, you know, so many countries. People are rebelling, and so we have to look at the motives. Why do people rebel? Why do they want to take off to the streets, and why do they protest against their governments? Because, well, they're not listened to, you know, in their basic needs. So this is what Uranus is telling us, and it's really being backed up by the sun in Virgo in one hand, which is in the third house. So the sun in Virgo says, okay, why do we go to the streets? Why don't we feel at ease? Why don't we feel peaceful? Why don't we feel content with our life? Why are we not satisfied with how things are going? We analyze that from Virgo. We can analyze those things. And okay, you know, in the Western world, maybe there's not so much to complain about, but still, you know, there's even in the United States, there's a lot of protests against, you know, the food industries being completely, you know, ruined. They're not healthy anymore. What is happening in the food industry? You know, a lot of people get ill from all the food that is being treated with genetic modification, and so we really have to fight for health and for you know, education in the right way and for real democracy. So that's the sun in Virgo on the one hand, and the other side is backed up this yacht by Saturn. And Saturn is the planet that belongs to Capricorn, the 10th sign. And it stands for the authority, you know, the responsibility that we each have for our own lives. And if you're in a position of power, you have a responsibility for the function that you have taken on. So Saturn is backing up because Saturn is really giving us also limits. You know, it tells us where we can really not go any further. And Saturn is in Scorpio. Scorpio is also like Pisces feeling sign. And Scorpio is a fixed sign and Pisces is a flexible sign. So Scorpio is about really feeling deep, you know. It's fixed in the sense that this feeling comes from our belly, you know, our really our power point, you know, our solar plexus. And it says when we really feel discontent, we can really feel it deep down in our belly, you know, we can hear it rumble almost. I won't say that I have that feeling because I feel quite content with my life at the moment, but there's a lot of people that are not content. They're just not satisfied with the way things are going. And I can't blame them, you know, because there's a lot of war, there's a lot of things going wrong, you know, there's such a lot of refugees having to flee from their own country, their own houses, because they're not safe anymore. There's such a lot of war and killing going on. We just cannot go on like that. We have to find peace. And how do we find peace? By giving it all we've got to change things for the better. So what do we want really in life? What do we want? What do we need to feel content or satisfied, or to be able to say, okay, I can live with that, you know? I think for me personally, it's freedom. Freedom is my first priority. If I have the freedom to express myself as I am and live the way I like to live, you know, I like to live soberly in a natural way. I like to eat healthy food, you know. I don't need to get such a lot of luxury to be happy. I rather have good relations with my neighbors and with my friends and with my family. That's very important to me. And to have good relations, we need to be able to express ourselves as we are. So we need to be tolerant towards each other, you know, because each of us is a unique human being. So when we cannot accept others as they are, then you know, they don't feel at home with us. So this is what is lacking a lot of communities, you know. There's a lot of ego and strive for righteousness because people think their way of life is the only best way, and their religion is the only best religion, and they're only they're just fighting against each other instead of letting each other be, you know, accepting things as they are. And it starts with us, you know. We really have to change our ways to be at peace. Now, the yacht is clear. This is what we have to do, you know. We have to change our way of life, but also our attitude. It's mainly a question of attitude. If we choose to be at peace with one another, then we can just be at peace. And from that peace, we can really look after each other, you know, in a good way, care for each other, and really listen to the needs of one another. You know, that's also something that's not very common at the moment. We really, it seems to me that everybody is living their own life, you know, maybe their family is important and their work, but, you know, it's so little time to really look at the needs of others at this time, to really listen to each other. I think this is the main thing that I want to discuss with you, and it's already 20 minutes, so I'm going to finish off with this. Thank you very much for your kind attention. There's a lot more I can say about this, but this will be enough. Thank you. Namaste. I love you. Bye for now.